Hello! So today we're going to do a dirty job and we're going to clean the inside of our washing machine. This is a front load washer. They're notorious for getting, basically kind of dirty and grimy and things like that on the inside, not only of the door itself, but also dirty and grimy inside the seal. You can see how dirty that is. And depending on how hard your water is and different water conditions you have, how many cycles you run, it will determine how often you want to clean this. But it's nasty. So we're going to get this really cleaned out and things like that. So we're going to use some really basic cleaning supplies, nothing that's harsh and that sort of thing. Really get in there and clean that out. I'm going to use an old toothbrush to get in those crevices and things like that, help us scrub, microfiber cloth, white vinegar, of course baking soda. If we wouldn't clean, everything we clean is baking soda cleans everything. And then Dawn, a little bit of Dawn. So just to start off with, we are going to show you how to really kind of clean this piece of it out. And then we will run through a couple cycles to really get the inside drum clean and that sort of thing. And then the last step we're going to do is we're going to get into here. We're going to actually pour in some white vinegar into the top, basically main washing trays. We're going to pour that in there. We're going to run it through another hot cycle. And we're also going to clean this out really well as well. So we'll use our microfiber cloth and our toothbrush in there as well. Okay, so got a bucket. I put in basically about an inch of water. I'm going to do equal parts, probably pour in, probably about half this white vinegar. White vinegar is cheap, so put that in there. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of Dawn. So I don't want to suds it, so I'm putting it in when it's, once the water and everything's already in there. Okay, we're going to start with the door. You can see that the door's got a lot of, it's got a lot on it. So we're going to start with that and see how clean we can get that. You're going to use your microfiber cloth here. You want to make sure you don't want to scrub and scratch your door. So you want to just make sure you get in there and with your microfiber cloth. And you can see it works pretty easy. You don't have to, a little elbow grease, but not a lot. And you're going to do all the way around. And get as much off that as you can. So now we're gonna do the inside thing, and this is a pretty extreme case of it. So we're gonna use baking soda and put a little bit of baking soda in there. And we're basically making a paste. So putting a little bit of baking soda in there, we're gonna put water in that, and then just a little bit of Dawn. And we're gonna make a paste and let it sit on there because we want to get all of that off there. And really it depends. If you don't have that extreme of a case, you could probably just use a little bit of vinegar, water, and a little bit of Dawn and wipe it down. But ours, we kind of need to let some of this sit on there to get that out of there. So just a little bit of Dawn. There we go. And then you have to play with it a little bit because now I put too much water in there, so I want to make it a paste, so it kind of sticks to the sides. You don't want it to run away from it, and so you have to play a little bit to make the paste just kind of right. Okay, so you're gonna mix up till you get that paste like this, where it'll stick a little bit more to the inside of where you're putting it down and stuff like that. So we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna get it into this kind of this nastiness area here. And then we're gonna have to, obviously with baking soda, the knock against it is that you really have to wipe it down to get it all out of there. So, but this is the first step. Once we run it through a few different cycles and things like that, some of that will naturally get removed when we run the baking soda through the cycles. So let's get this going. Once you kind of get it all coated, you can see I got it pretty well coated in here. Once you get it all coated in there, then you're gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes, let it do its job, and then we're gonna come back in here and scrub it and wipe it all down. Okay, so we're gonna go through, we're gonna wipe it all down, scrub the spots that need a little bit of extra attention. Make sure we wipe it down with our mixture of vinegar and water, and a little bit of dish soap. So in a microfiber cloth. There's some spots we might have to do a bunch of times. Okay, so we've had some success. We used some baking soda, a little bit of Dawn, and a little bit of water, and a little bit of vinegar in there, and we just put it on there. A little bit more, a little bit better, and we're letting it sit 15 minutes in between each time. We really didn't want to put bleach on here because, you know, bleach, you should try to limit how much bleach you're putting on here, but you can see that we still have quite a bit of blackness in there, right? And we want to get as much of that out of there as we can. So we're going to put a little bit of bleach paste on there and see if we can get this as clean as we can. Obviously use gloves. You're working with bleach. The paste kind of helps it stick in place. So that's what we're going to do here, is just get this and kind of get it stuck in place. All the spots that still show a little bit of blackness from that mold, we want to get all that off as much as we possibly can. So we're gonna rub it in there good, and we're gonna let this sit again for another 15 minutes. Okay, so we got it about as clean as we're gonna get it. It's a lot cleaner than it was, but it's not as perfect as I'd like. But at the end of the day, they say if you let it get this bad, you really have a couple options. If you use too much harsh chemicals, you're gonna ruin the seal, so you don't wanna do that. And the only real option is then to replace the seal. So we're probably at that point where we get to we need to replace the seal. We heard it's about $50, $60, depending on your machine and your brand and that sort of thing. So that's it. So we're going to actually run through, and we are going to throw in baking soda into the load, run through a very hot cycle just to get all this kind of residue off and that sort of thing. Wipe it down one more time, and you can see it's much better than it was. We wiped out the inside of the tray with a little bit of vinegar water and that sort of thing. So we got that taken care of. We're going to run a hot cycle through for baking soda, and then we're going to run one hot cycle through for putting vinegar into your main wash cycles and things like that. Run it through to get those lines and the calcium buildup and all that stuff kind of cleared out of it. And then we'll be at a place where the machine's pretty darn clean. So we tried 3 different ways to clean this. So the first one is just vinegar, hot water, and a little bit of dish soap. If yours isn't that dirty, it works, right? It works really well. You want to use that part on your glass and that sort of thing. The second method we tried to use was a little bit of baking soda, and we used some white vinegar, and we mixed that into a paste, and we pasted it in, and it worked a little bit more, took a little bit more off and things like that. And then the third way we did it was we took baking soda and a little bit of bleach to try to get some of the blackness out of that, which worked a lot better, right? But we didn't want to put too much harsh chemicals like bleach on a rubber seal. So we did that, we mixed it into a paste, we put that on. So those are the 3 ways you can try to see if you can get yours clean. And that's it. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll run through some cycles and show you the finished product.